If you're a coach or consultant who's seeking more financial freedom and time freedom to savor your life, then you're going to love my guest today. She's going to talk about how to leverage your time so your business no longer consumes your life. Hello and welcome to the Seven Figure Life Fulfillment Podcast, where we share strategies to help coaches and consultants build life-affirming seven-figure businesses filled with passion and purpose. I'm your host, Ken Stephen, and my guest today is Hella Brody. Hella is a business coach who helps entrepreneurs create the freedom they desire in their business by turning overwhelm into effectiveness. Hella, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's great to be here.
Well, hey, what you do sounds very, very interesting. And I think probably a great way to start is why don't you let people know who it is you serve and the kind of transformation you achieve for them?
Right. So I serve business owners, entrepreneurs who've been in business for, I'll say at least 2 years, more likely 5 years
Mhm.
and more, who've created an absolute mess in their business. They're going here, they're going there, they're working crazy hours, they don't have evenings and weekends left anymore, and they're exhausted. And they're looking for a better way. It's either find a better way or give it up.
So when these people come to you, what's the biggest mistake you see them making?
They just keep going in every direction all at once. Because so when we start our businesses, we're trying all kinds of things to see if they can work. And that's a normal part of building your business.
Mhm.
When it comes to marketing, should I do this? Should I do this? And and the trouble is that we don't stop doing what's not working because it works once in a while. So we just keep doing more and more and more and more. So that's an example of marketing, for example. In terms of what they do to serve their clients, it's the same thing. I mean, if I can tell you a story about one of my clients, Sarah, for example. So when Sarah started her business, she wanted freedom and fulfillment, and I mean, she was on a mission. She was driven. She was willing to do whatever it took to make it work.
Mhm.
And so she got started, and opportunities started showing up and she started doing this and that. People would ask her, she'd have clients who would say, "Oh, can you provide this extra service?" And she'd say, "Sure." Somebody suggested a partnership. She said, "Oh, yeah, I'll try that." Bright, shiny objects would show up. And as entrepreneurs, we all see those bright, shiny
Mhm.
objects. It's part of how we're wired. And so she jumped at them. Now, when I met Sarah, she wasn't feeling so great anymore. She wasn't necessarily doing what she loved doing.
Yeah.
She was going in so many different directions. And her problem wasn't a lack of effort. I mean, she was willing to do whatever it took, but she wasn't feeling fulfilled, right? Because she was going in so many different directions. So what she needed to do was make a choice, right? So it's about choice, making a choice to do what you love to do, what generates the income you want, all of those things, and letting go of some of those other things. And as entrepreneurs, making that choice has got to be one of the most difficult things we can do because it does work sometimes. And what if it turns into a gold mine? And what if we see as entrepreneurs, we see the possibilities in everything. And so that's the greatest mistake that I see in clients when they come to me.
Right. Yeah, you're right. That entrepreneurial thing, we see possibilities. And so we want to take advantage of everything we could possibly take advantage of, right? We see our skill set and we say, well, there's 20 problems I can solve. So I want to be able to solve 20 problems instead of just focusing on one or two that maybe you love doing the most, right?
Right.
Right. And so you said something that really resonated with me because, my whole thing is helping people build businesses that fuel their passions and inspire their purpose. And
Right.
and you said something there that I think is a problem a lot of entrepreneurs face, and that is they end up wearing so many hats and doing things that have nothing to do with what they love in order to keep their business running.
Right.
So how do you work with clients to make sure that they end up doing what they love most and yet still get all their stuff done that needs to be done to keep the business running?
So we start looking at what they're doing, what types of work they're doing. It depends on what part of their business we need to work on, right? And more than likely, we need to work on all parts of their business. So let's take Sarah's example, for example. Sarah, for example.
For
Um,
example,
yeah, so I mean, Sarah was doing all kinds of things. So we looked at, why did she get into business? What is she passionate about? And we slowly started pulling things out, things that weren't serving her, right? So it's not a it's not a major shock to your system. It's pulling things out slowly. And as you know, I mean, lasting change. Sure, there's lasting change. We can have that breakthrough moment and we can have lasting change. And it's also very effective when we just do a little piece at a time. When we're making progress, like, I mean, it's like ripping all your clothes off. Like, I don't know where that analogy came from, but nobody wants to have that warm blanket taken away because that's what we've gotten used to. That's what we believe is going to take us to the next level, right? So a lot of it ties into our beliefs as well.
so you actually start working with your clients and you tap into these beliefs. So you're identifying
Absolutely.
limiting beliefs and are you identifying maybe what their identity has to change to in order for them to kind of step into the life they want to be living? Is that how it
Well,
works?
part of it is our identity.
Hmm.
Part of it is our beliefs, all the stories that we tell ourselves, and um, for example, a lot, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who want to have it all, the financial freedom, the time freedom, and the personal freedom, the internal freedom to really savor every part of their lives. If they don't believe that they can have it all, they never will, right? And so, I mean, if you don't believe it, how are you going to create it?
Mm. Yeah, good point.
And so we work on mindset, we work on their business. It's not okay, we'll take 2 weeks and work on your business, and then we'll take 2 weeks and work on your mindset. It's all interwoven. It's so deeply enmeshed in everything that we do that it's hard to separate it. And so that's why we're pulling, in Sarah's case, we pulled little things out, little things at a time. And she got comfortable with that. And she started saying, hey, I don't need to do all of these things, all of these other little things that are out here. And I'm already finding I have more time. I'm actually starting to earn more because I'm actually starting to really enjoy what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, you know what it's like when you enjoy something that you're doing, you're far more productive. You come at it with a totally different energy,
Absolutely.
right? So creating that mindset and the real belief that you can do it happens through the process, and of course through coaching as well.
Is there something you might be able to offer us right now, just a quick tip or tactic that could maybe help fast track this change in belief system that we need?
Oh, um, yeah, I'd say look at what it is that you really want. And I'm very big on journaling and meditation. So start journaling. What is it that you really want? And then journal, why don't you have it yet? And I don't mean that in an abrupt or harsh way, but why don't you have it? And you'll start discover that there's a whole series of excuses for why you don't have that. Oh, this happened and it's somebody else's fault, and oh, and I'm not smart enough. Well, that just that little piece of journaling will uncover a whole lot of beliefs that are holding you back. And then the next step, of course, is shifting those beliefs. And a quick tip for that is a little bit more difficult because that's a coaching process. And that's what I help people with. See, success in business is as much mindset, if not more mindset, than it is the strategies and the tactics. Yes, we need the strategies and tactics. And yet, if we don't have the right mindset to apply those, we're not going to get the results that we want.
So mindset's a big part of the work you do with your clients.
Absolutely huge.
Absolutely huge. Um, what would be, I know you could probably talk hours on this, but
I
what
could.
what would be what would be very quickly the process or the process you would take people through when they started working with you?
Well, I mean, we start looking at their goals. Where are
Mhm.
they now? Where do they want to be? And why do they think that they haven't achieved their goals? So what's holding them back? So it's sort of a three-part piece. What does their ideal business look like? How does it feel? Right? So all of those pieces, and then we can like all of those sort of I'll say larger concepts, and then we can start looking at the little pieces of how do you get to where you want to be? Because and you know, entrepreneurs are they're a different type of person. They're not the same type of person who punches a clock every day and, you know, goes to work in the factory. Totally different person. And so we have the ability to dream, we have goals, we chase all these crazy ideas. Um, we're just a different type of person and we need to understand who you are and what really fuels you and what's going to drive you to do what you want, like create the life that you want. And when I say drive you, that doesn't mean giving up the rest of your life. Because as I said, as with Sarah, we started pulling out these little pieces that weren't serving her. And she all of a sudden she had more time to devote to what she was passionate about, what was generating revenue. So she had more time and she had more money, right? So
Mhm.
now she could build her business. She had more time, more money. She had the money to build her business, build her team, and start leveraging her time to
Perfect.
create even more of everything she wanted.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
The step-by-step process.
Helen, how did you get started doing all this? What's the story behind all that?
Well, I was one of those people. So I've been
Haha.
an entrepreneur for 37 years. And I say that almost with a badge of honor because we're a different sort. We really are. I struggled with all of those things. I went through a phase where, I mean, I was working 7 days a week. I was a single mom with, two kids in competitive skiing. So I was driving them all over the country, well, the province really, and then to the airport. And my mother was terminally ill.
Hmm.
So I was working 70 to 80 hours a week and doing all of the other stuff. You can imagine I was stressed and exhausted just all the time.
Yeah.
I knew things had to change. I knew there was a better way. When I looked around, there were a few people who seemed to be enjoying their lives, making a lot of money, having fun, and I wanted to know how they did it.
Hmm.
So I went on my own journey to find all of that and even gained a couple of coaching certifications to get it all figured out. And when I figured it out and put it in place for myself, I knew it was time to share it with other entrepreneurs who were struggling the same way I was. Because really, Ken, I believe that when entrepreneurs thrive, they create a better world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a great backstory. How can people get in touch with you, find out more about you, and maybe there's something you'd like to offer them to
Yeah, I
get
have a
introduced to your services?
sure. I have a resource that's called the Freedom Formula for Entrepreneurs.
Oh, good
Um,
title.
and I'll give you the link for that.
Yeah, and
That
I'll post it in the show notes below.
awesome. And so that will invite people into my community, into my world. Um, you'll get access to my resources. You'll get, the link to my website. It's freedomjourneys.ca, just for a quick one. And that gains people access to my world. And if you're ready to make a change, I'd say book a call with me and we'll have a conversation. We'll see if this is the right thing for you.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Hell, I want to thank you for being so generous and sharing your time and your insights here today. I know I certainly got a couple of golden nuggets from our discussion. As I mentioned, I will post the link to your free resource in the show notes below. And for anyone listening today who benefited from Hella's insights, please share this podcast with your friends so they can benefit too. Stay tuned, everyone, for the next episode of the Seven Figure Life Fulfillment Podcast. And Hella, thanks again for being such a great guest.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's been wonderful to chat with you.
All right, bye for now.
Bye bye.